Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. On today's episode, we are talking organization, which can lead to a healthier lifestyle through a calmer mindset. And the organization that we're talking about specifically today is your wardrobe. How you show up in the world is how you feel and how other people see you. So it's very important when you think about how you're presenting yourself every day. And also when you go to get dressed. For women, it's such a pain in the butt. You've got to shower, do your hair, do your makeup. And then you got to figure out what the hell you're going to wear. And if you're like me, you have tons of shit in your closet, but you come out saying, I've got nothing to wear today. And maybe, just maybe, it's because it's not organized properly or you have not purchased the right pieces. So on today's episode, I am so excited because I have the wardrobe boss with me who's going to talk about all this and everything we need to know. And you'll be able to contact her at the end if you need to. And yeah, we're going to go from there. So let's get styling. And with that being said, I'd like to welcome my guest, Eliza Parrilla, the wardrobe boss. How are you?
Hi, Madison. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm so excited to have you on because I just finished cleaning out my closet because I'm going to temporarily move. So I have all this stuff I had to donate and then all this stuff I wasn't sure if I should keep or get rid of. And I just realized that like there's so many of the same pieces I always buy, but when it comes to like dressing up or going to an event, I don't have anything.
Well, a lot of women have the same problem that you do. And I think one of the reasons is I call it shopping inside out. So you go in your closet, you're like, it's overwhelming. I have too much crap in here. And so the first thing you think of is, okay, so let me go shopping. Why not go shopping? Who doesn't love retail therapy? And the whole point of it, right, is to have something new. So now you want something new because everything in your closet isn't good enough because it's not new anymore. So then you go buy something new. And most of the time you come back with something that looks like something you already have or something that you already have. And then you're like, oh, okay. And that's probably why you bought it, because you like the first piece you bought. But since you can't see it, you don't wear it.
This is so true. So the first thing I want to backtrack just a little bit of how you got into this.
The interesting thing was I was a radio personality for quite a few years, but I always had, even when I was in the radio game and doing radio shows in New York, I always worked for a fashion company on the side. So I always had both of those worlds kind of married. And then of course you have to pick one or the other. So I picked radio. And then I remember one time I got kicked out of my show for someone's, I won't say their name, but someone's syndication deal. And while I was looking for another job in radio, it was taking a long time. And I was like, well, I have to pay my rent. So let me figure this out. And then I said, okay, I'll go back in fashion. And I took a position at a very fancy Italian men's shoe store on Madison Avenue in New York City. And I loved the product, but I could not stand being stuck in a store all day long. I knew it wasn't for me. And I was like, what am I going to do? And so I had this idea because people will always stop at me on the street asking me, oh, where did you get that? Or where can I buy this? And then another thing was that all my friends and family and their friends and family were like, hey, I'm going shopping for the wedding, so-and-so's wedding. Can you go with me? And that, I just loved it. So I did that. But so from that, I was like, okay, you know what? I should start like this little concierge company. And every time people come into New York from Canada, Australia, whatever, I'll take them shopping and I'll style them at the same time. And I'll show them all these great stores in New York and tell them the history about these one-off rich stores in New York, like at the time, Henry Bendel. And started doing that. It kind of started taking off, but I didn't know how to market myself or anything. And then a friend of mine one day called me and said, hey, I'm doing a shoot with an A-lister. Can you assist me? And I said, sure. And that one shoot turned into 8 more shoots. And then before you know it, that A-lister offered me a job to be their assistant and to manage one of their assistants and to manage their wardrobe and this and that. And so I
Wow.
did that. I was on the road for a couple of years and I got tired of that life very fast. And yeah, everyone thinks it's so great, right? You're on private jets, all that stuff was fabulous, but I got tired of that lifestyle because I was sleeping like 3 or 4 hours every day. And so I said, I'm going to
Oh
go back home and I really want to go back to styling. And so I came back home and I was like, I don't know where to start. And someone gave me an idea and said, you should be a personal shopper at Bergdorf Goodman. That is a very esteemed position. I was like, how the heck am I going to get into Bergdorf Goodman? And the one thing that I had on my side was that A-lister that I worked for, I actually had a relationship with one of the personal shoppers at Bergdorf because I brought her as a client to her and we buy tons of stuff from her. So I thought that that would be my in. It wasn't, but I went through another friend and somehow I interviewed for Bergdorf Goodman. They hired me immediately. And then I was there for a couple of years. And that was an amazing, I mean, working at I worked for a few A-list celebrities. That was just one. I didn't name the other ones, but I worked for a few of them. And then by the time I got to Bergdorf, I had such an amazing knowledge just from working in people's closets and working with tailors and working with advanced designer collections and couture collections and actually having to make certain pieces for these A-listers. And so that was already an amazing education. But then when I got to Bergdorf Goodman, it was like being in Italy and, you know, I don't know, the House of Gucci and really learning every aspect from how clothes are made and stitching and tailoring and fabrications. And so I stayed at Bergdorf Goodman for a few years and it was a pretty amazing, one of the best experiences of my life. But again, I couldn't be stuck in a store. And one thing I realized when I was there was that women shop, I don't want to say wrong, but they shop inside out. As opposed to shopping from your closet, you go to the store and buy something to wear. And this is women of every background, every financial background. This is not just one type. Every woman does the same thing. So everyone just wants something shiny and new, but sometimes most of the time, the best thing you have is already in your closet.
So if you feel like you have nothing to wear, how do you find the best thing in your closet?
Well, now that's another story because that goes to organization. It's how is your closet organized? So one thing that I do when I first meet a client, like I just picked up a client a few days ago. She owns 40 restaurant chains. She is a CEO of 40 restaurants. And she
Wow.
has this huge, beautiful closet. And she just did an organization process, kind of like you, where she got rid of the stuff she's not using. And then she kept the stuff that she wants to use. But the thing is, when you have so much stuff, even the most stylish women in Manhattan that I've worked with, you don't know what to wear. It's too much to choose from. So what I'm doing with her and what I do with most of my clients when I first start with them is something called a wardrobe remix. So I go into your closet, I assess what you have, and then we begin to curate a capsule collection. So it's what you're going to wear for the next 60 to 90 days. And that will include if you have a bar mitzvah, a wedding, whatever event, right? A cocktail event, whatever event. And so then we organize in that collection, I will have evening wear depending on what event you have. And if you don't have an event, I'll still have an evening wear outfit or a date night outfit or whatever. So that way, everything that can possibly creep up in your life is already ready for you to go. As opposed to you waiting for the last minute and saying, I have nothing to wear. Then it takes you 3 hours to get dressed. And then you come home and you spend the next day, another 3 hours putting everything back.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. Or that anxiety that comes up with, oh my gosh, I just got invited to this event. I have nothing to wear. And now you've got to run to the store and you might not have time. So it is always good to have kind of those staples, like an event thing so you can go.
Absolutely. And I say the easy way to manage that is when you go shopping for whatever you're going shopping, when you see that piece that speaks to you, or if you see it online and you just love it. And especially if you wake up the next day and you're still thinking about it, that's yours. You love it. and you should get it. If you don't love it, it shouldn't be in your closet. That is my motto with all of my clients.
Yeah.
If you don't love it, don't buy it. If you don't love it, it shouldn't be in your closet. And if you don't love it, you should not wear it, because you're not going to enjoy it. And the truth is that you're spending your hard-earned money. Even whatever it is, you're still spending on it. And sometimes I see, like 2 weeks ago, I had a woman who's one of my dearest friends and the most stylish person I know, and the person who does not need help getting dressed. But she called me in a frenzy and said, please come to my closet. And I already knew what was going on. I said, take everything out of your closet, put it in the middle of the living room, and wait until I get there. And
wow,
about 5 hours going through everything. I wanted her to look at what she had, see if she loved it. And the interesting thing was that I didn't even expect this, but she wound up having double of almost everything. I said, you don't have 2 homes, so there's no reason you should have double of everything. And with some things, she had triple of the same exact sneakers, triple of the same exact boot. And that I understand, because sometimes you're like, but I love this so much that I want another one, so that when this is done, especially if you're a person of signature style, I am. So sometimes I'm guilty of that. I won't buy the same color though, but I do that often too. So I get it. But the point is, she didn't know what she had. She didn't know how much she had. And by the time we put all the bags aside that she realized things didn't work for her, there were thousands of dollars sitting in black plastic garbage bags that even if she real Poshmark gave to Goodwill, you're not going to recoup that. And not only are you not going to recoup that, you probably didn't really enjoy everything there. And you should enjoy what you have. Even if you just wear it twice, as long as you enjoyed it, then it's okay to go. But so these are things that we don't realize we do. And there's no judgment, right? There's no judgment. We're all guilty of it. I mean, come on. But it's just how you organize your closet, how you get dressed, and how you manage that really streamlines what you're doing. And when you go to get dressed, it's not like this big ordeal that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get dressed. I have to do, because by the time you get your nails done, your hair done, if you run to Mac so that they can do your makeup for you because you don't know how to do your makeup for that kind of event, then, because that's me, that's who I am. I'll run out and get my makeup done sometimes, not all the time. But, you need the time for all of that. You can't spend all this time shopping for something. And most of the time you don't come back with, it's a hit, I got something great. Most of the time you come back with something you settled for.
No, it's true, because you just can't find what you're looking for. And that's like with shopping sometimes. If you're looking for something so specific, you won't find anything. It's when you go and you're just like, I'm just going. That's when you find all the stuff. Or especially when you're like, I'm not spending any money on clothes this month. And then you walk into a store and then that's when everything you want appears.
That's when it happens, but that's when you should strike. You should strike as you go. And I always say, have a budget and then have a top of budget. So if you say, I'm going to limit myself to $500 for a dress, and that's your budget, give yourself a little bit more room, right? Or say the dress is, I don't know, $400, and just know that your top of budget, you won't pass that, because then you don't want to come home feeling regretful either and saying, gosh, I spent $750 on this dress and I told myself I only needed to spend $5. Now you're going to have guilt on top of purchasing something that you want to enjoy. I don't think you'll get the full enjoyment out of it if you were going to have guilt on top of it. You know what I mean? We should be enjoying it to the fullest.
Absolutely.
So have your budget and have your top of budget. As long as you don't pass your top of budget, I think you'll come home and respect yourself.
No, I've never even heard of that. So that's definitely good advice. So what are some key items that every woman should have in her closet?
Definitely structure. That's one thing that, especially now, right, with COVID and everyone wanting to wear sweatpants or, pants that are more structured, like sweatpants, that they're loose, that they don't have a structure. Again, no judgment, right? But you can't wear sweatpants all day, every day. And you can't wear pajamas all day, every day. And please Please, people, don't go into the street wearing pajamas. It's ridiculous. I always want to pull people to the side and say, you know what, please just make a little more effort.
I think New York is the only place that really happens, because when I'm out, I spent a significant amount of time out in Colorado, and I would go to the grocery store and maybe you'd see like yoga pants, which is what I was wearing too.
That's fine.
But like you don't really see it. But I know in New York, I think New York is just one of those places where it's like there's so many different creatures, and like so like just everybody's so different that it like you could wear a Wonder Woman costume and people wouldn't think twice. They'd be like, that's cool. And just
But it's also because we've gotten to be such a lazy society, right? Like, let's call it what it is.
Yep.
And I think that's fine in your home, but I just think you'd feel better. It's almost like if we said, hey, listen, it's okay to wear sweatpants and sweatshirts all day, every day, because we're in COVID. How long are we going to use that for an excuse? I think it was great. But when you get up and you take a shower every morning and you get dressed and you comb your hair and you put something decent on, you actually feel productive. I guarantee you,
yes.
If you stay in sweats all day, you do not. So if you just want to get yourself going, and, I don't think that we should continue to stay in this mentality of, but COVID. At some point, we've got to move on. And in fact, now we live with masks. Live with it. That's what we're doing right now, today. It could change tomorrow, but that shouldn't stop our lives. And I think, getting up and getting dressed is productive. So anyway, I'm sorry. To answer your question, I definitely say have some structure. So if you want to wear a looser pant or a pant that feels like a yoga pant, that's okay. But buy one that has a structure. That way you feel like you're wearing a pant, but you get the feel of a yoga pant. So it's kind of cheating,
Yes.
Not to wear a sweatshirt, get like one of those really cool, especially now we're in sweater season. Like I love sweater season and I love leather jacket season. So have some structure in your leather jacket. Have a sweater. If you want to wear like a yoga pant that has some structure, then you can wear like one of those long sweaters, but maybe it has a hood. Maybe it has a strong collar. Have some structure, a blazer. It could even be a blazer that you can wear a hooded sweatshirt underneath it with an open jacket. And if you're like, yeah, but a sweatshirt, so get yourself a cashmere sweatshirt, get yourself a sweatshirt and wear it under a blazer. That way you still have your casualty about you, but you have some structure. So you do have a sense of, I got dressed today and I took some pride in myself. Why not?
I agree. I mean, that's the whole thing. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel
Absolutely.
good, the whole world opens up.
And I don't care what size you are. Like the one thing that I hear from people all the time, and I'm going to bust this myth right now.
Okay.
People use the excuse of, I'm going to wait until I lose weight and then I'll go shopping.
Oh.
No, Janet, Myra, Maria, whatever your name is, don't lose weight until you go shopping, because what happens is, Madison, that you walk into a room with clothes that are too tight on you, and guess what is the first thing people notice? That your clothes are snug. So I don't care what size you are, as long as you're dressing for your size, then no one will notice it and you'll feel good about yourself. Because if you sit down and your pants feel tight and you're trying to eat or talk and have cocktails, you're going to feel it and you will not be your confident self. And
yes,
you're going to feel it more than anybody noticing it. That doesn't matter. It's that you're not going to feel your confident self. And if you're like, yeah, but I'm in the midst of losing weight. If you're in the midst of losing weight, congratulations, keep going, but you still have to get dressed. So buy at least 3 pair of pants that are not that expensive, that are a little bit disposable, but that fit you now and that look good on you now, and dress for the body you have today, not the one you're working on for tomorrow. Keep working on it. When you get there, we will celebrate. You can celebrate and buy whatever you want, but dress for what your body is now.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because it goes back to the thing you were saying, is like you want to feel productive and look good and feel good. And if you're always waiting for the perfect body, it's like you may never get there. So what are you going to do? Continue feeling like shit? or you start feeling good because you're starting to wear clothes that fit you, and it'll make you want to work out more, I would think, or take better care of yourself.
Right. And if you're like, okay, I'm what are you gonna do? Like eat absolutely perfect every single day. Even today I was thinking, okay, I've been eating clean for 2 weeks and I really wanted a bagel today and I didn't have it because I was just like, why don't you change your thinking, and instead of thinking, oh, it's going to taste so good, just think, make a healthier choice. That's all. And so I
Oh,
resisted. I made a healthier choice, but like that doesn't mean I'm not going to have ice cream. If I want vegan ice cream tonight, I'm going to have it. Like we can't deprive ourselves of everything. And the losing the weight, we want it all off now. We want it all done now, but it doesn't work like that. So you got to be easy with yourself. Take baby steps. It's a journey, right? It's
yeah.
you. Weight's going to go up, weight's going to go down. Weight's going to go up, weight's going to go down. So are your emotions, so is life, so is everything else. So get on board, people.
No, that's absolutely true. So no, that's interesting because I think people would think, oh, financially, but it does make sense, and you got to enjoy life because you're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Right. And even financially, you don't have to, nobody ever, and I'm telling you this now, Madison, I have so many clients. I have never had one client who said, I lost 40 pounds. Okay, I'm throwing every single thing away and let's go out and buy every single thing new. All my pants new, all my tops new, all my shoes. Nobody does that. So for anyone to think, yeah, but I only have this to start with, it's okay where you have to start with. And if you can't spend a certain amount of money on clothing, we're in the best place ever for that, because you do have the Real and Poshmark. And there's nothing shameful about buying from those sites or buying clothes that are gently loved. You know why? Because what I find is that the collections that they make now, whether it's contemporary, advanced designer, the investors, a lot of investors, not all, but a lot, are not investing the same amount of money. So that means the quality on some brands, and I'm sure you've noticed, are not that you're like, well, how come this quality isn't as good as it was 10 years ago or 8 years ago?
Yes.
Because the investors are not investing that kind of money in something that might be disposable. The way the clothing is not disposable, but I'm saying the way people shop is different. The way we dressed is different. We're so much more relaxed in the way.
Yeah.
So they're not giving Zach Posen had to close down. Zach Posen. I mean, he can make anybody look like Beyonce in a dress because he knows how to fit a dress to whatever body type. So that is proof, right, of where we're going. So I think that a lot of times it's to your advantage to go to a Poshmark or to go to a Real and see what you find there, because chances are you'll get better quality from something that's gently loved than you will from something that's brand new.
No, that makes sense. And how much of a discount do these sites typically offer?
Well, it really works for the person buying. It doesn't really work for the person selling it. And I know this because I do this all the time, but when my clients real, sometimes it's 50-50. But the more you give them, then it can be more. It can be like 70%. But the truth is that, and this is another thing that people do, and again, no judgment, we're all guilty of it, but we'll hold on to the Prada shoes, the Gucci shoes, the Prada belt. Yeah, but even if you're not wearing it, you're like, yeah, but I don't want to, I'm not ready to part with it. And then we hold on to it for so long that by the time we go to sell it, it's worth so much less than what we think. And then it's a huge disappointment when you're like, but I paid, everyone gets stuck on the same thing, but I paid, $1,200 for this handbag. Yes, but the handbag, the most you're going to get for it now is $450. So unless it's a brand that never goes on sale. A Vuitton will never go on sale, so it will never lose its value. A Chanel will never go on sale, so it will never lose its value, even at resale. So that's something that you might want to look at a different way. You're like, well, if I want this Chanel boy bag and the Real is selling it for $3,000 or almost $4,000, well, I might as well put the extra $1,000 or whatever and just buy a new one, because you're also buying the experience. You're going into the store, you're having it wrapped in this beautiful box. You want the entire luxury experience. So that's where I would probably say, okay, so if you really want to invest in the Poshmark or the Real, go ahead if this is what makes you happy. But if you really feel like, but I really want the real one, I really want the store experience, that's when either you can do a savings plan for yourself, right? Or you can sell something you have on one of these sites and then start saving the money from there. Or your husband or your kids or someone's like, hey, you can save your gifts. It could be a birthday and Christmas gift combined, the kids and the husband. That way you get something you want, right? Because how many times are people who they love us dearly and they want us to have something and they get us something and we're like, I don't like this. I won't wear it, but this was so nice. Then we feel guilty and then we wear it out of guilt and we're not enjoying it. And I'm sure if they really knew that we weren't enjoying it, then they would feel bad about it. So I feel like it's better if people get you what you want, that's something that you love and you enjoy. It's better. So I always say, hey, save those, you know, when your husband wants to get you something or when the kids want to, you know, or your bonus at work, save that for when something you really want.
So why do you think, so you mentioned like some great designer brands, but what about for just the everyday person that the $3,000 handbag is like, no, not, that's what I spend on clothes my entire year.
And that is okay, but you want to get the most quality you can for whatever the dollar amount that you're spending is. So that's something that you need to figure out. So like if you can't buy a Gucci bag, but Coach has a great bag on the Real, Poshmark, Mercari, I don't care where it is, and you love the bag, then I say that's probably what you should do. But you want the best quality for your money because, listen, we all wear the Zara, the H&M, right? Everyone, even the people I know with the most elaborate closets, most of them mix high and low. So we all do, we mix the high and low, which is what we should be doing, mix the high and low. But sometimes the low end stuff is disposable. Every now and then it's not. But sometimes, you won't spend that kind of money, but you're only going to get one season out of it, or you're only going to get 2 seasons out of it. And sometimes you won't. That's up to you, but you also shouldn't, say, well, just because I have this amount of money, I'm only going to buy on sale. Because what happens is when we only buy on sale, we bring it in our closet. We don't love it. We bought it because it was on sale, because we're trying to save money. Nothing wrong with that. But if you bought it because it was on sale and you don't love it, you just made a mistake and that money is going down the drain, I guarantee you. Because you're not going to wear it, you're not going to love it. So I say either wait till you can buy something great. I think it's better to have, 10 pieces in your closet that you love than have 20 pieces that you're like, it's okay, it was on sale. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who says they don't care? Most people do on some level, even if they don't admit it, because it all comes back kind of to confidence and how you feel. Even if you don't want to admit it, that's okay. But when people kind of dress sloppy, they know it on some level. And you know how you know they know it? Because when they go to, if they were going to meet someone that they really liked or they were going on a date, all of a sudden that would be important to them. So believe me, they know it. And again, no judgment.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So how should one organize their closet?
So I think the most important thing is you need to get dressed according to your lifestyle. And so I know women who get up and because they have so much, they get dressed out of like 3 or 4 different closets. That to me is ridiculous.
Oh my
Everything that you're wearing for let's say we're in October, we're practically in October. This is the perfect time for you to say, okay, I'm going to make myself a small capsule collection. And you don't have to organize the whole closet to do this. So take the pressure off of yourself for that. Pick one side of the closet or pick one closet that you can have a certain amount of room, and you put the clothes there that you're going to wear from October to the end of December. Include your Thanksgiving outfit, include your Christmas outfit. Even if you're staying home with your family or you're going up to a cabin, or it's going to be the pajama Christmas again this year, well, get those pajamas ready. Have everything you're wearing for the next 90 days ready to go. That includes, shoes should be in a separate closet, but I think, even with the shoes, what are and it doesn't have to be right. I just did this yesterday with someone else. I said, okay, to keep it simple for her, she's a minimalist. And I said, I think this is what you should do. No more than 7 pair of jeans, no more than this amount of sweaters, no more than this amount of t-shirts, and no more than this amount. And that's what we did. And so when we put everything back, it was so easy. And then since I know her closet better than she knows herself, I was actually able to write out a list for her, which I know she didn't expect, but I said, and she wound up with 8 pair of jeans, which was more than we even thought. Okay. And she gained some weight during COVID, so she didn't know, but she had every kind of jean that she can have. She had the ripped jean, the distressed jean. She had the very dark navy jean, so that if she and her husband were going on a date and she wanted to throw a strappy heel, then that's like her dressy jean. Then she had a jean, that really cool jean she just bought that had like kind of patches. So that's like a cool factor jean. Then, make sure you have colors. She had a mauve jean, which she would have never gotten if I wouldn't tell her, include colors in your closet. And then she has an off-white jean. And I'm a big, big proponent of white jeans. And I think that every woman should have white jeans in their closet, even if they're, for all year round. So even if it's like, yeah, but it's a summer color. We don't really wear jeans in the summer, and it can be an off-white, or it can be a very thin corduroy, or any kind of corduroy, or velvet, but you should definitely have your winter whites. Winter wardrobes shouldn't be all dark colors.
So why do you love the white jeans so much?
Because they brighten you up and they make you look good. And since we're always with black coats, black boots, black handbags, like I feel like when you break it up, especially winter whites and jewel tone colors or winter colors, start noticing for yourself, right? When you walk around now this winter, when you see women with lighter winter colors, how much brighter and happier that looks.
Interesting.
Say, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that.
I think the reason I never got white jeans is, for me, I don't know why I thought this. Like somehow I thought I was still like a rough and rugged teenager or something. But I was like, what if I just want to sit on the ground? Like then my butt will be all dirty, or that was my logic.
No, and I get that. And I think so many people have different things. Like I have a client who says, yeah, but you can see my dimples. Oh my gosh, if you saw her body, I mean, these women who pay for their bodies can't even look like her. And she's in her late 40s and her body is rocking. And she's so hard on herself, but all she sees is dimples. And I'm like, so she refuses to wear white pants, but she'll wear off-white. So, and I think, and you're right, everyone has a different reason, right? Me, I don't like to wear a lot of white because I'm always afraid it's going to get stained and then I'm going to have to get rid of it. But I always wear white jeans all year round, and white, me personally. But I just think it's nice to have light colors. It's nice to have light camel colors, light heather gray, especially if we're lounging around. It's okay to have like these lighter, I don't know, it could be cashmere, it could be faux cashmere, whatever it is, just make sure it feels good on your body fabric. Because that's another thing. I know that some people want to save money, but then you get home and it's something you like aesthetically, but you don't like the fabric. And I think that's important because that's part of loving what you have.
Yeah, I mean, fabric is such a big thing for me. It's like I always, when I'm shopping, I feel it to make sure it's comfortable and it's not that stiff fabric. And then also the second thing is like, how is this going to wear? Like, how long am I going to be able to, wear this? Because when I buy something, like I usually really like it, and I want to wear it multiple seasons.
Right. Me too. That's how I shop. And
Yeah,
sometimes I'm like, eek, but this price point, if I like something and it's out of my price point, but I know that I really want it, I'll stalk it. Do you think I have any shame in stalking it online? I will stalk it online because it's
yeah,
going to go down. And the truth is, I know how much it costs to make clothing. So I'm not buying items at full price most of the time, unless I absolutely love it and
yeah.
it doesn't lose its value. I will invest in it. To me, that's an investment piece, because if for whatever reason I want to get rid of it, then it'll still hold its value. Although rarely do I do that. I don't even think I've ever done that. But that's the mindset I'm going with, because I just want to feel like, I have to make sure it's worth it for me. And sometimes I have to, sometimes if you say, well, the cost per wear. So if you're like, well, I really don't want to spend more than $100 on a pair of black combat boots. Okay. But if you see one for $350 and you love them, you figure out the cost per wear. How much are you going to wear them? How many times are you going to wear them? So if you
Yeah.
figure out cost per wear, I think that really makes so much sense. And you're like, well, I never thought of it that way. Well, if it costs me this much yes, of course, because you want to feel like you've gotten your worth out of it.
No, that makes sense. Because I remember
Mhm.
buying a pair of black boots last year, and they were the flat boots, but stylish. And I mean, I think I wore them almost every day. So they would work
Exactly.
everything.
Exactly. I bought a pair of Fendi boots. I don't know, Fendi motorcycle boots. Fendi makes a motorcycle boot every year. And I bought a pair, I don't know, a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago, maybe 7 years ago. And I've had them resold. I live in those boots. They're motorcycle boots. They're fur lined.
Ugh,
Um, I never feel cold in them. They're comfortable. I love them. I mean, I slip them right on. So my cost per wear, I definitely got it. And the same thing with handbags. Sometimes people are like, oh, the handbags. But if you're wearing that handbag every single day, you are getting your money's worth. This is a true story. I bought a handbag. It was about, I think it was like $1,500. But at the time I bought it, that was a lot of money, even for me to spend on myself. And I felt so guilty about spending this money on myself when I was working for it, that I called my brother, who's an accountant, because an accountant will talk you out of anything. And I
yeah.
said, it's going to tell me not to buy it. And I couldn't believe my brother said, do you love it? Will you wear it every day? And I said, yeah, it's an investment bag. And he said, well, I think you should buy it. I didn't expect that. So I went and bought the bag. Not only did I was so happy that I bought it, because I did wear it every day. I did love it. It brought me joy. But about 2 or 3 years into the handbag, it had gold finishes and it started rubbing off. So I took it back to this luxury store and I told them what happened. This rarely happens, but they couldn't have, they always have, they can send it away like to France and then it comes back.
Yep.
Well, they didn't have the piece. And I waited like 2 months. They didn't have the piece. They sent it to France. They called me up and said, please, we're sorry, we couldn't fix your handbag. Please come into the store and pick any handbag of the same value. So I got double my money's worth, because I got the exact same handbag that I first bought, that I loved. And
Yes.
I had that handbag for another, whatever, 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, and handbags are I always like buying expensive pocketbooks because they last so long. I mean, I've had a Louis Vuitton that I still wear. I don't wear it every day, but that I wear quite frequently. It's a little one with the chain strap. But
Right.
I think I bought it 10 years ago and it still
Ex-
feels new to me.
Yeah.
I think it's
And
great.
that it's never, it'll not, I don't mind investing in handbags and footwear. Those are my two things, and coats, because those things for me are going to hold their value.
Yeah.
Um, So I think that's important. There was one other thing I was going to say was the Christian Louboutin. I've loved their collections, but once it became such a popular shoe, I personally didn't want to wear it. I have no judgment on anybody who wants to wear it, right?
Right.
But that's a shoe that I see my clients all the time regret because
Well,
they
it's
bought it.
really uncomfortable.
Right. And he said years ago, way before he got super popular and everybody was rapping about them, he said years ago, I don't make my shoes for comfort. I make my shoes for style. So every woman I know who has either, if she has 100 pairs, she has 2 pair, always winds up giving them away or trying to sell them and get the money back. And they never do. Because
Yeah.
nobody wants to buy those because the people who have them and know about them know how uncomfortable they are.
Ugh.
Well, they don't want to buy them.
I mean, those are the types of shoes I feel that are great if you're sitting down, if you're doing, if you're doing a television interview.
I was just going to say that, right.
You're not, but you could take them off when the cameras stop and like walk off the set because
Exactly.
I mean, they really are. I remember I was doing a piece like 3 years ago on Fox News Red Eye. It was their comedy program that ran into the middle of the night. And we would record at 8:00. And my friend that lived in the building at the time was like, oh, you're going to be sitting in that corner chair in the studio, and you have your legs crossed. I saw from the last segment you did. So you really should have these shoes. It'll look great because like the red will pop up on camera. And I'm like, I can't walk in them. She's like, put them on when you get there. So I did. I walked them in. And then as soon as I sat down, I put them on. So it looked great for the television, but I didn't even have to.
They should only be worn for housewife reunion shows, which is where you see them displayed most of the time.
Or on your back if you're into that.
Exactly.
I know. I never understood that where people, they're like, oh yeah, because some of my married friends will be like, oh yeah, these are our bedroom shoes. And I'm like, what is the fantasy of having sex in shoes? Like I never with like the guys always want like the heels. Like I never was like, hey, like throw on your work boots and let's pretend
well, the women are smart. They know that they hate those shoes. They can't walk in them, but they look good. So the husband gets the joy of buying them. The woman gets the joy of wearing them. And then if she wants to wear them for a 1-hour dinner, she can, but she has them to show to her friends when they come and they look pretty in her closet. So she's pretty smart if she's like, yeah, I'll take them as my back shoes.
My back shoes. I like that. I always call them bedroom shoes, but I'm like, no, I like the back shoes part because high heels, like it was one of those things. I don't know if this has happened to you, but as I've gotten older, my tolerance for high heels has just
me too
plummeted. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, because you wear heels to go out and the first thing I used to go out and you'd walk into a bar or wherever, an event, and you'd be like, oh, like if you're single, like, whoa, look around for the cute boys. Who can I talk to? And now I'm like, I'm just looking for a damn place to sit down.
Right.
Like all I want is the chair. Like that's it,
No, I do experience that too. And I hate that. But I call it the 2-hour shoes. So I'll get a shoe that I can wear like for 2 hours and then I'm done. So if I'm somewhere, I don't know, maybe I'll put my shoes in another purse. Maybe I'm Cinderella and I'm running home before the clock struck 12. But
yeah.
2-hour shoes. That way, like if it's dancing, I will dance with them. And if I can't dance with them anymore, they're coming off. But
that's why everybody ends up at weddings with bare feet, or they always have all the flip flops now.
Exactly.
That you can have. And this is, I can't believe I did this, but I did it. And I swear by it. I told my sister-in-law the other day, I said, last year I was going to an event and I was wearing like a velvet, like sleeveless jumpsuit. And that's what I was going to wear. And I'm like, oh, but I need to have heels. And it became this whole anxiety thing. And I'm walking down Madison Avenue and I spot a Clark's. And I said, I know they're old lady shoes, but I know they're known for comfort. So let's just give it a crack. And lo and behold, there was a pair of black heels. They could be about an inch higher. I love them. They don't look like Clark's.
Awesome.
They're so comfortable. So I'm telling you, go to Clark's if you just want like a good, really comfortable kind of staple heel. They're not super, super high, but they don't look frumpy.
Yeah,
like,
I think
they make them this year.
Yes, you have an excellent point with that. Excellent point. In fact, there's a woman, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't remember her name. She's a doctor. I can get you the information. Oh, what is it's
Is
with
she
the
a doctor that owns a shoe company?
Yes, she is.
Karen Rose?
No, it's what did you say, Taryn Rose?
Something like that.
Gosh.
I
Oh,
feel like there was a
one of my
podiatrist.
clients buy it. It could be. I don't remember. I'm gonna look up the name. But she has these like the shoe is comfortable everywhere. And I had one of my clients buy it. She loves the shoe. A client who complains about every shoe on her foot. She swears by the shoe, and it's a sexy, gorgeous shoe.
Oh, you've got to get me that information.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm,
my gosh.
I'm going to go back to my client's notes and see, because she's the only client who bought them. So I'm going to see, and the styles are great. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because this is a time again for us where there are options out there. So like the Clarks, great option. That's a great observation. I'm glad that you brought that up.
Okay, perfect. And we want to know the name, but obviously because we're recording, she can't get that right at the moment. So if you're interested in what this shoe is, if you go to the website next2madison.com, we will have this shoe brand and the link in
Yes.
Eliza's episode. So click on her episode, go into it with all her information where you can contact her, and then you can find out what the shoes are, because I don't want to leave my listeners going, well, I never heard of the shoe. I want to know the damn shoe.
I will get it. I will get it. I will get it to you.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we'll stick it in the show notes. That's where it'll be, so everyone can kind of have the shoe. Now I want to go back to the 90-day closet.
Yeah, the capsule collection.
So you've got your certain amount of items. Do you organize it where it's like all tank tops, all sweaters, all blazers?
Well, I like to keep the tank tops and all the tops somewhere close to the pants. Not maybe for some people, everything doesn't fit in the closet. If maybe they're organized that like, well, my pants are here, but as long as it's close by, as long as it's neighboring, the t-shirts don't have to be hung up. If they want it, those are all personal preferences. But whatever's hanging in the closet should all be there. It should be long to short, left to right, dark to light. That way it's easy. Everything that's long is in the long section. If you have long gowns, they're in the long section. If you have T-length, mini skirt, so it just goes like that. It goes from left to right, bottom up, dark to light. That way it's easy to see. And the whole thing about creating this collection is not only so that you can find everything for the next 90 days, but so that you can mix and match everything with everything. And you'll figure that out as you go along. And then guess what happens after 90 days? If you're sick of them, we'll take them out. You have so many clothes, and now we'll make you another collection. But now you're using your clothing and you're loving it, and you're mixing and matching it with stuff that you never have before.
No, that's a very great idea. So dark to light.
Dark to light, long to short. And I always make sure
so the long stuff is on the right side of the closet?
No, the long stuff is on the left side of the closet.
Okay, so long.
On the right.
Okay. And then you always start dark going from the left to light, right?
Exactly. And I keep short sleeve with short sleeve, tank top with tank top, long sleeve with long sleeve. Because when you go in your closet, I want to wear short sleeve today. I want to wear long sleeve today. And I know people think, well, shouldn't you color coordinate your closet? Okay, it may look really cute and really nice if you do that, but it's not functional. The whole thing is to save time getting dressed in the morning.
Yeah.
You get up and you know what the weather is. Most people get dressed by the weather or by what they have going on that day. You know your closet, so you're going to know, do I want to wear long sleeve or short sleeve? Do I want to wear a sweater? Do I want to wear pants? Do I want to wear a skirt? You know that as soon as you open your closet. But since you know where everything is, you're like, okay, I can wear this, 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 and this.
Mm-hmm.
If that's too complicated for you, take pictures. With some clients, I make outfits. We make complete outfits and we take pictures. With some clients, well, not lately because they don't have to go into the office, but with my high-level corporate clients, I do their outfits for the entire week. They had nothing to worry about. They can get up do a meditation in the morning, do their run before they go to work, come back, the outfit's there, go to work, come back, and go out to dinner when they get home. And that's how your life should be. That's how everybody's life should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, I never understand. I always like, oh my gosh, a woman who has to get her kids ready for school, who has a career, who has a husband, who has a household to run and doesn't have a live-in maid or nanny.
Oh,
got a lot on her plate. Like, those women are heroes. I'm sorry. Those women
totally are.
a lot. They do everything. And as women, we're so hard on ourselves. We're like, oh, we feel terrible when we don't have it together in a certain area. Imagine that, we who do everything, and now we're going to be hard on ourselves because I don't have my closet together. It's not a reason to be hard on yourself. We're not going to be great in every single area. Like, let's just admit that now, get it out there, and then say, okay, I'm going to find the girlfriend or the person or whoever I need to make this part of my life work. That's it. That's it. And once you get it streamlined, then, I just want to like kind of just say this. There is, I don't know, have you ever heard of Marie Kondo?
Yes, of course. Everybody, it was the Netflix show, right?
Exactly.
And everybody went on like a closet purge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had heard of her, but I'm very busy, so I really didn't have the time to sit down and figure out what she was about. But it was something I always wanted to do. So I ran away to California during the COVID. And so when I came back to New York and I got off of the plane, I said, you know what, I'm going to go home and I'm going to get rid of 50% of everything I own. And I don't have like a whole bunch of, so people think that, oh, because you're a stylist, I don't. I just lived so light with such little clothing in California that I was like, I'm just going to go home and get rid of 50% of the stuff. And 2 days after I came home and I was already into reorganizing, I didn't have that much to do. I got a phone call from a cousin of mine who was in California, and I missed her while I was there. And she said that she was working with a Marie Kondo certified consultant. And I was like, whoa. Yeah, certified consultants? And she said, yeah. So I looked up the program, and it was such an awesome program. I paid for it. I took the program, and I was like, this is a great thing to offer my clients. Wow. As a marriage to what I already do. And the program is very intense. You have to do your whole home in order to even qualify. And you have to read all of her books in order to even qualify to take the course.
Oh
so
my.
It's very intense. And you don't just take the course and then you're certified. I took the course. Now I have to do people's homes. Then I have to take a test. Then I have to have an interview. It is a complete process. But the amazing thing about her and her process to me is that if you do it right one time, then it's not going to be like every 6 months, I have to spend a whole Saturday taking out the whole closet and reorganizing it. Because the main thing with her is that everything in your home must have a home. And I am a big supporter of that, because my life works in my home when everything in my home has a home. Same thing with, so it starts, for me, it always starts from the closet out. But when your home is not cluttered and everything has a home, I guarantee you that the peace of mind you have is so much bigger, because now you're not coming home and sitting on the couch on a Netflix binge with a pint of Haagen-Dazs just because you want to forget about everything you have to do and how you have to organize this and how you have to do this and how you have to do that. If everything has a home, when everything gets messy, it just goes back into its home. Then when you do have to organize again, it's more like just fixing it again. But everything has a home. It's not like taking everything out and then you put it back. And then your sweaters, because you took one sweater, all the sweaters. No, there's a much easier way to live. And I just think it really, really helps with feeling lighter in your life. And, you want to enjoy your home. We all want to enjoy our home. My home is my sanctuary. It's mine. It's my peace of mind. I cannot have, I can't live in an unhappy home. That is the only place I can go that is mine. That is my, I even have, like, I'm sitting on this chair. Someone asked me the other day, they said, I've never seen that chair in your place. And I said, this is my happy chair. And it is my happy chair. I have it next to my window. I have this beautiful ottoman. And it's not that it's the most fabulous or expensive chair, but it's where I can create my little happy space where I can read, I can look out the window. Like, everyone should have this in their home, this home peace of mind. And, I really believe it starts in the closet. But if you do your closet and then that starts working for your life and you get your home in order, your life will be in order. And if I had to sum all of that up in one word, it would be freedom.
Oh my gosh. You're right. And you would just be more productive, and the things that would kind of drag you down would you'd be excited to get up in the morning. You'd be excited to get dressed. You'd be excited to cook a meal. You'd be excited to have friends over. You'd be excited to hang out. I mean, you're so right with that. I know, like, when, I used to have a housekeeper come,
Say that.
when COVID came, it's like I was doing it myself, and I always felt better.
Of course you did.
Clean. I was like, I love my life,
House smelled good. It looked good.
Ah.
That's when you can sit down and Netflix binge and Haagen-Dazs pint and feel guiltless. You might feel guilty about the ice cream, but you're enjoying your home and you're enjoying your space. So enjoy it. Who cares about, like, if your biggest issue is I ate a little too much Haagen-Dazs, big shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big deal. So what?
Exactly.
So I think that, it's a freedom that is just awesome, because I thought I was organized, but she's taught me how to be much more organized. And I mean, I really now have just about everything, even my kitchen, my refrigerator, and I love it. I'm loving life because of it.
Oh, that's amazing. So then once you have this certification, you can then go into your clients' homes and do their whole home.
Right. Well, I'm already doing it mostly because, like, 2 clients want me to do it. But since I've already have a rapport with them and I already manage their closet, it's just easy. And it's not a thing like I always have to come and do the cabinets. You know what I mean? Once it's done, it's done. And then they manage it. That's it. Just like when the housekeeper comes, once she folds stuff in a certain way, if it works for us, then we kind of keep that system. It's the same thing. That's why I say with the closet, left to right, long to short, dark to light. Because once you have a system of how you get dressed, then it just becomes a habit. Then that's your system. That's why the capsule collection to me is so important, because I have found that that's what works for my clients. They're getting dressed here. This is their space. If they have to move from here and then there and then go to the shoe closet, as long as they're not getting dressed out of 3 closets. Because every time someone tells me that, I'm like, how's that working out for you? Because I know it's not working.
Are these people that live in New York? They must be crushing it, because New York
closets are very limited. They live in New York. And as you know,
they're killing it.
Yeah. Even my people that have these beautiful, lavish apartments, I have some friends who moved from an entire brownstone back to an apartment. And it's a 3-bedroom apartment, and they have a quarter of the space that they used to have before, but this is what they wanted to do. And I got in there while they were moving in to help them, and it really works for them. Like, the husband had more clothes than anybody, and he's a very stylish guy. And I was so proud of him that he just took the initiative and said, you know what? And he's built this beautiful wardrobe over the years, but he was like, I think it's time he let go of so much stuff. And now he has a certain amount that he works with. And he's really happy. So is his wife, even the kids. They even had one closet that was, I know it was for a linen closet, but I was like, you know what? You don't have the amount of kitchen space you had. I think you need to use this as instead.
Yeah.
So they got everything they did. I think they got the Container Store to come over, and they use it as a pantry, and it's working for their life.
Oh,
And the
that's
whole
great.
life is working. And so they're really happy in their home. And you can tell when people are happy, and it's nice to see that,
Yeah.
that they worked it out. And I was there helping them every step of the way, because I was like, you have to maximize, especially in New York, you have to maximize your real estate. So you really have to
Oh,
measure
yeah.
every square inch so that whatever you're using for storage is being properly, measured out, so you get every inch of real estate that you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we have to wrap up, but before we go, I want you to tell our listeners where they can find you.
You can find me at www.wardrobeboss.com. I love to be on Instagram, not all day, but
Yeah.
I would answer Instagram before I answer anything else. So
Okay.
I am Wardrobe Boss on Instagram, not to be confused with wardrobe.boss. That's someone else. My Instagram has a caricature of my short hair and my big glasses. So you'll see
Okay.
that. And that's where I can be found. On Twitter, I'm on Twitter as Wardrobe Boss Inc. And I use my Poshmark store because I have so many fabulous things. So I use that, and I just put them on Twitter. I don't tweet. I'm just like, I have this on Poshmark. I have that on Poshmark. So you can find me on Facebook too, Wardrobe Boss. You can find me, and you'll
Okay.
just see a picture of short hair, my glasses.
This is amazing. So yeah, if you guys want more information from her, or to follow her, and get some tips that she may provide, or to have her come over and do your whole closet, definitely reach out to her. Again, all her information is going to be on our website at nexttomadison.com under Eliza's episode. And I would like to thank you, Eliza, for being my guest today, and
Thank you,
talking
Madison.
about wardrobes and fashions and all that good stuff. And you guys at home, or in the car, or at the gym, or on a walk, wherever you may be, thank you again for listening to another episode of Next to Madison. And we'll see you guys next time. If I could speak, we'll see you next time to find out who's next.
Thanks, Madison. You rock.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.